Many people, I'm not talking about everybody, many people don't have that time or energy or awareness to give that much time to invest to learn these things. But in practical day to day life, if we see, uh, it is very much needed. We are very familiar with IQ, intelligent quotient, but we are not so much familiar about EQ, which is called emotional quotient. So the flow of this talk will be like I'll present few slides and I'll present some ideas, and then I'll stop for a few minutes, and then you can ask something or share something. We can unmute you in that time, and again we'll continue with our presentation. So I am basically based in Rishikesh, and I, along with yoga, basically my strength is to counsel people and do workshops and seminars about emotional growth and life skills. So I'm very happy, and my request to you that when I'm talking, if you can make few points, note down few points, because these are very important life skills. Uh, Points will be, and you can use it like in day-to-day life eventually. So the first step in mental and emotional growth is to understand the importance of it in our life. When we go to college and we learn engineering or whatever, so that time is like more of just learning and growing ourselves. But in real life, when it comes to real life, when you start working in a company, organization, industry, or a college, many times if we want to grow in life, we have to do teamwork. We have to interact with people. We have to understand them. We have to make ourselves understand them. So that time emotional quotient comes into picture. And also dealing with our mind. Somebody's mic is Vanita Pandey. Can you mute yourself? This one. Background noise is coming here. So similarly about mind is something which is very difficult to understand. Many times people say my mind is not in control. I am having emotional issues. So what is this mind? Let's begin with that actually. And I have few slides for you. So this is my topic, mental and emotional growth. And we will begin with the nature of the mind. So what is the nature of the mind? Nature of the mind has been described in various ways in various texts. Mind is different than brain according to our yoga philosophy or Vedic text or Vedic psychology. Mind is something like a software and brain is something like a hardware. So mind runs the software, software of the mind runs the hardware of the brain basically. So most of you are engineers here, I believe, in this workshop. So when there is a wrong coding in the software, when there is a bug, the output is not right. So similarly, in our life also, what happens is we are doing many things. We are working on our finances, we are working on our family, we are working on our social life, growth in career. But still, people find some kind of incompleteness. People find they are not peaceful and happy, they are not emotionally strong, and their mind is not peaceful, at peace. It's just jumping here and there, it's restless. So this is one thing about the mind. Mind behave like a monkey. That's why we call it monkey mind sometime in our language of emotional counseling. Like monkey jumps from one branch to another branch. It's very restless. Similarly, the mind is jumping from one thought to another thought, from one person to another person, from one gadget to another gadget. And there's nothing wrong in it to have this kind of thought process where we want to think various things. But too much of restlessness leads to anxiety and person unable to do anything in life. So this is the first thing you have to observe about your mind. If you have a monkey mind, is too much jumping around, then you have to really make a note of it. Another thing about mind is like a child. Mind is like a child. Child is also very restless. Child is very obstinate. Once child decides something, child keep crying, I want this, I want this, I want this. So then what you have to do? You have to sometime ignore the child. And how you ignore the child? Just keep quiet for some time. Keep quiet. Just don't pay attention. The problem is that we pay too much attention to our mind sometimes. And if you keep entertaining the need of mind, this is endless. So is our mind our enemy or it is our friend? My dear friends, it depends how we have trained our mind, how we have tamed our mind, how we have dealt with our mind. Because mind is very flickering. It is accepting and rejecting. The uncontrolled mind. Right now we are talking about an uncontrolled mind. Right now we are talking about a mind who is behaving like an enemy. So it has a nature of sankalpa and vikalpa, accepting and rejecting. This moment, mind says, oh, this is wonderful. Another moment, immediately it rejects the thing. So we have to observe about these things about mind. Mind is also very strong. Now, very strong means it has to be a good quality. Yeah, it is a good quality. But if it is strong for wrong things, then it becomes a bad quality. Mhm. So that is the whole training actually. If mind is very strong, that's why some people have strong willpower. It means their mind is very strong for the right things. And some people are destroying themselves by doing the wrong things, and they have very strong willpower to do that so-called wrong or right things. It is based on your goal, my dear friends. And goal depends on kind of culture we have grown up, kind of aspirations we have. So there are many things are connected here. Another thing about mind obstinate, which I told you, once he decides something, I want this, I want this, I want this, it just keep asking that. And then mind has the ability to absorb like a sponge. When you put a sponge to red color water, it absorbs red color. When it put into blue color water, it absorbs blue color. Similarly, mind has the ability to absorb the kind of environment we put the mind into. If mind is surrounded, or you say we are surrounded by people who are too negative, then there is a high possibility that we may develop that negativity around us. If mind is constantly fed with some negative kind of data, then it leads to panic attack sometimes. It leads to depression sometimes. And again, as I was saying, mind is like a neutral guy. If you allow the mind to be exposed to things which are very positive and wonderful, high in spiritual energy, then mind start absorbing that. So that's why we need to first observe and become aware that which kind of situation we are putting our mind into. Mind is like a bird which has two wings. What does it mean, having two wings? Two wings means past and future. Now, what is the reality? Reality is this present moment. Right now, you are sitting in this seminar, wherever, in front of your laptop, in front of your computer or mobile, listening to my talk. Now, it is up to you whether you want to be here or you want to be in the past, lamenting about some particular thing, cursing yourself or cursing somebody else, or you want to worry too much about future. We need to have some concern about future. For that we need to do some planning. But if mind is doing constantly some kind of planning, then we are actually losing the reality. The reality is this present moment. And mind is like a bird which keep on flying with his two wings, either in the past or in the future. And that's why we don't find it very nice. Life, seems to be like people, you see them, they are not happy. One of the reason is they are not able to relish the present moment. This is another issue with the mind. And mind is constantly conversing with itself. What is it conversing? There is some constant auto talk goes on many a times in the back of our mind. We also call it chattering or noise, background. negative auto talk, you know. Mind is connecting different incident, different past events, replaying them. Like I was talking to one of my friend recently, and he started talking something very negative, something very sad which happened to him few years back. I said, why you want to remember that? We can remember one of the lesson which you must have learned from that, but the whole event to replay it, it will create all the negative emotions inside you. And then, laughingly, I just told him that there is a sure short way to become miserable. And the sure short way to become miserable is start remembering all the wrong things which has happened to you or people have done to you in the past. But this is not the right way. The right way is something else, which I'm going to tell you in few minutes. It start arranging into a better drama, planning for the future. Now, planning for the future is not wrong, but the too much of planning, too much of worrying, as if everything depends on you, as if all control is there with you. There are many factors in this universe, many factors which are enacting and which are beyond our control. Now, who knew this COVID 19 will come and life will change so much for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years? So, too much planning is not good, my dear friends. And too much of worrying about past is also not good. We have to just remember some lessons from the past and go on in life. Like some people who want to remember too much of the past, they become very miserable. And those who are grateful to all the wonderful things which have happened in their life, they're very happy. Once there were two friends, and they decided that they want to go for an excursion. For few days, they want to walk around in the mountains and the near rivers or lakes. Just few days, just both of them. And this is very much needed to make your relationship is strong. It's very much required. So they started walking. They were going different beautiful places in the lake, near the lakes or mountains, and walking. And in relationships, sometimes misunderstanding happens. Somehow there was some misunderstanding, and they started fighting. And person A threw the person B into the water in anger, and he was all wet, and person B came out. Person B was sad. Person B was feeling, it was not good that my friend done to me. But then he connected with his emotions. He wanted to take out his sadness. So he wrote on the sand near that, or mud, whatever, near that pond, today my friend threw me into the water and I felt sad, and it's okay. And then again they started walking, and they were walking and walking, and after a few days, again, something happened very interesting. Now, person B started drowning in a lake where they were taking bath. So now person A came to save him, and he saved his life. So person B, who was thrown into the water before by person A, and now is saved by person A. So person B start writing. The same person who had written that I felt sad, now he started writing, I felt so nice that my friend person A saved my life, risking his own life, and I'm so grateful to him. But my dear friends, he didn't write this time on the mud. He wrote on a stone. There was a big rock there. He started carving this. He started writing with a stone on that. The idea is that he didn't want to forget if something wonderful has happened in his life because of somebody. And the moment we do that, positive emotions start coming. And these positive emotions makes us happy. So the idea is that we have to train our mind, we have to train our thought process to think in a certain direction. Happiness and peace many times in our hands. Mm. We say pain is inevitable, but misery is optional. Mm. Many times people have pain, but they can choose to be happy in that situation. They can choose to shift their thought process into another direction. Otherwise, what happens is our mind get into the zone of disease. And I call them three cancers of mind. You know, these three cancers of mind are very, very dangerous. If we have these three cancers of mind, most of us have, frankly speaking, to some extent. But if it goes to like large extent, then it becomes very difficult. There are three C's. First one is complaining. Now, we have to complain sometime, like you go to the hotel and you paid for the services and they're not giving the services worth of what you have paid for. You have to tell them that, sir, this is what is not good. My AC is not working. The bathroom has this issue. I'm not talking about this here. I'm talking about a attitude of complaining. There are some people who have this attitude of complaining for anything and everything. They will be just complaining about weather, about people, about food, and they just cannot see anything good coming out from anything. And this generate all kind of negative emotions again. So again, please start catching yourself. The idea of this seminar is to create more awareness in my life and in all of yours life, that if mind is shifting into the complaining zone again and again, then you have to start catching and then see what is good there in that situation. Comparing. Now, this is very common and it happens many times in the family, that family parents sometimes do it with their children. They compare their children unnecessarily to other children, relatives, friends, their children. And what happens? Children don't feel good about themselves. They develop some kind of complex. They don't feel inspired. They don't feel valued for. This is about children, and we can do the same thing for ourselves also. We keep comparing from others and start feeling low about ourselves. Start feeling I'm not doing much what that person is doing. But instead of comparing, what I feel and what I have read or heard from the great souls, that we have to feel inspired. When somebody who is more qualified than us, and if we get the opportunity to meet that person, instead of comparing and feeling low, we can feel inspired. And with that inspiration, we can do much wonderful things in our life. And the third cancer is criticizing. This is the like worst. Biting, backbiting, it's called also bitching. Just sitting in a tea corner and talking ill about some of your colleague, some of your students, some of your friends, some of your relative. And why people do this criticizing? What pleasure they get? Criticizing people do because it makes them feel good about themselves. Their philosophy is that unknowingly, maybe not knowingly, that by talking ill about others, they can feel better about themselves. So it doesn't work. If we have to grow in life, we have to become strong. We have to grow on our own. By talking ill about somebody, by finding faults in some people, doesn't make us better person. It is a fly mentality. Fly, wherever it goes, it looks for pulse and dirt. But what is honeybee mentality is looking for something wonderful. Honey everywhere. Even if the big garbage heap is there, their honeybee will try to find a flower somewhere, a small flower, and try to suck little honey out of it. So opposite to criticizing is appreciating. Opposite to comparing is um, what you say, taking inspiration, and opposite to complaining is finding something wonderful. Be grateful to what is available. So instead of criticizing, my friends, why can't we start appreciating people? And then that appreciation will help us to develop wonderful qualities. So again, my request to you, I'm not saying you're doing this, I'm not preaching here that you are doing it. I'm just trying to make all of you aware that if your mind is going in one of these three cancerous zone, then please catch yourself and shift your mind from criticizing to appreciating, from comparing to taking inspiration, from complaining to become grateful. And see how wonderful your emotions will change towards positivity. We have to learn, we have to grow from the useless mental battles. There is so much of our energy go to waste fighting the useless mental battles. What are these useless mental battles? Useless mental battles are this kind of thoughts, negative thoughts. And unless by methodically slowing down its continuous rambling, the internal dialogue, there is an internal dialogue which goes on, and focusing on positive and uplifting objects. So, first step, again, I'm repeating, I think fourth or fifth time right now. Observe your mind. How you observe? You can start writing. You may start taking a break in between for a few seconds and see where your thoughts are going. And there is a constant rumbling, continuous rambling internal dialogue is going on within our mind. And that decides our mood. Many times people say, my boss is not in a good mood right now. Or maybe I'm not in a good mood. Good mood, what is mood? Mood is some internal dialogue is going on which is bothering you. But if you can shift that internal dialogue to positive and uplifting objects, it can change. It will change. Uh, that's how it works. I'm sure about it. So these mental battles take too much of our energy, and we left with very less energy, which we can use to grow ourselves and to help other grow. That's how it happens. This is a beautiful picture which is given in one of the Upanishad, and this analogy, and our body is compared to a chariot. It's a very important example, my dear friends. Many of you may be knowing about it. But if we can understand this example, many things in our life we can solve it. These 5 horses are very powerful of this chariot. And the driver who is holding these 5 horses seems to be very weak. So these 5 horses, as you've seen, these are 5 senses we have. Our eyes, nose, tongue, ears, and skin. So any kind of data, whatever data we take inside our personality, it comes through our senses. Or you can say into the mind. It is fed through the senses. So data processing is happening. The inputs are going on from the senses and they are being fed to our memory, which is part of the mind, you can say software part, or hardware, you can say in the brain. And intelligence is the driver. If intelligence is weak, intelligence means is discrimination power. If discrimination power is weak and senses of mind are very powerful, then the chariot of body loses its balance. And you can imagine the passenger who is sitting behind, what will be his or her situation. Hmm. So what need to be done? I mean, first step is be careful what kind of data you are feeding to your senses. And how we feed the data? We feed the data by talking to people, by hearing them, by watching TV, social media, reading books, coming in contact with different kind of experiences. And intelligence is weak because we have not fed the intelligence with the uplifting spiritual thoughts. So it becomes difficult. So what we need to do is we need to actually be very careful what we are coming closer to. Otherwise, what happens? Here is a chart. Thinking stage. First, there is a thinking stage. By contemplating the object of senses, positive or negatively, one develops attachment for them. That is the second stage, feeling stage. So everything started thinking. And how thinking start? When you come in contact with some object, you keep thinking about it. Like say, you saw a car ad on a big billboard and you keep thinking about it. Oh, nice car, wonderful car. I should have this car. Now, I'm not saying don't have the car. You can have the aspirations, but if we go out of balance, you have limited resources, you have limited budget, or you have some other priorities, and you start developing those attachments, it leads to the obsession, which is the third stage, lust, willing and doing stage. I want to do, I want to have it. And if it is not the right kind of desire with less resources, then person will develop anger, the frustration, because that's how anger develops. That's why person become frustrated that I want to have this but I'm not getting this. I want to have this but I'm not getting it. And this anger leads to delusion and then bewilderment of memory, then the loss of intelligence, and then one falls down into gross material existence. Person laments later on that I could have done something much wonderful with my limited energies or whatever energy or resources I had. But instead of that, person falls into the trap, and it all starts at the thought process. And thought starts by feeding what kind of data, like say you're constantly contemplating on some object. This is what the media industry does. All these ads, what they are doing, they're trying to change your thinking, my dear friends, constantly bombarding you with the same ad again and again, 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 and make you convinced that this is what you need in life to be happy. But may not be. That may not be true. We will not die if we don't drink Coca Cola. We will not die if we don't have something else. Something more important is more, they don't advertise some healthy food. Everything is commercialism is there. So be careful where you're taking your mind and thoughts. So that's why start with this mind your mind. Mind your mind means don't interfere into others' problems, others' issues. Don't worry about things which are beyond your domain. Because there is an important concept which is called circle of influence and circle of concern. But before that, which I already explained to you in this slide, watch your thoughts. If your thoughts are positive, necessary, keep them with you. If thoughts are negative, waste thoughts, just discard them. Don't entertain them. How you discard the thoughts? By not entertaining them, by not paying attention to them. As I told you in the beginning, the nature of the mind is like a child, the baby. If you ignore, it will go away after some time. It won't keep bothering you again and again. It will bother you for some time, but afterwards it will not bother you. I'm assuring you. Now, this is an important slide. Again, very important. We have the circle of influence and we have circle of concern. Circle of influence is like this is written here. Things that bother you but can't do anything about it. This is circle of concern. And circle of influence is things you can do something about. Now, if you observe your thoughts, many thoughts are like they're bothering you, but you cannot do anything about them. Let's say about weather. Oh, today this weather. You keep talking about the bad weather. Now, is it in our control to have any control on the weather? Do we have any control on some universal global issues which are happening? If some war is happening in Afghanistan or Kabul, what can we do? It may be a concern, definitely is a concern that people should live peacefully and they should not fight and people that terrorism should not spread. It's a concern, but to keep thinking about it is not going to help either ourselves anyway. Circular influence, things you can do something about. Like something is happening in your family, something is happening in your personal life, something is happening in your department where you're working. And this is where your influence is there. You go to talk to your boss, you talk to your students, you do some practical stuff. So that's how we have to shift our mind from circle of concern to circle of influence. Otherwise, what will happen? Circle of concern will become bigger and bigger, and circle of influence will become smaller and smaller because we'll not be putting our energy into circle of influence where it can be actually useful. But if you do opposite, if you put your energy into this green circle, circle of influence, then circle of influence will increase bigger and bigger, and then your concern will also be taken care at the larger level. So please, again, I'm repeating, you have to start catching your thoughts and see whether this thought or this talk or this worry, is it in circle of influence or this circle of concern? We have to develop some higher absorption to deal with the mind. Higher absorption means music, some spiritual music, kirtan, some kind of spiritual thought. You know what happens when you sit in a plane and you fly high? All these big skyscrapers which you're seeing, they start looking like a matchbox, small matchbox, small matchbox. What does it mean? It means that all the problems, they look trivial. Somebody has to unmute, sorry, mute himself. Background noise is coming. So this small problems, this problem which seems very big, they start looking small when you go higher. So what do you mean by going high? Going high means uplifting your consciousness by shifting your thoughts to the higher realm. And we need to learn to respond, not learn to react. What does it mean between responding and reacting? Between any action and response, we have freedom to choose, my dear friends. There's a free will in between. And if we can work on this small thing, if we can increase this free will capacity, we already have. We have to just we have to practice it. Like we have muscles, and when we do the muscle building, gradually muscle start growing. You know. So similarly, we have this power, freedom to choose. We have this power of free will. That's where we differ from many other species. Many other species are there. Human beings considered to be very special in regard that they have this freedom to choose. Many times we blame people. We blame people. We say you are doing wrong to me. I'm not happy with you. Or we have complaints that this person did this to me, that person did that to me. Many times people say he makes me so angry. How people act or speak is beyond our control, my dear friends. Whatever we control is our response to it. The fact is, I have chosen to become angry instead of saying that he made me angry. Only when we take this bitter pill of taking 100% responsibility of our actions, we can have the power to transform our lives. So, to the degree we blame or accuse people or situation around us, then we actually become powerless. And to the degree we take responsibility, we empower ourselves. When we blame others, we actually giving the remote control of our life into other people's hand. We are telling them to manipulate us subtly, indirectly. You know. So instead of doing that, we need to exercise our freedom to choose, in a right direction. That happens by gaining your inner strength. Gaining inner strength. How we gain inner strength? We gain our inner strength by spiritual practices, by emotional release. We all are carrying a lot of emotional stuff around us. So there are many techniques, there are many skills which are very helpful in emotional release. There are many practices about spiritual upliftment, and you can try them. Some of them include meditation, chanting, writing down all your emotions, hiring a counselor or coach, spending time with nature, going for some detox retreat. These things will help you to gain some inner strength. And once we develop this inner strength, then we can actually can go into the direction of taming our mind. Instead of making us it to our enemy, we can make it our friend. And the same mind, which is very powerful, can be used for uplifting your whole overall personality. So this is like first part of my presentation. I had told in the beginning to the sir that in between I'll take a break for a few minutes and take some questions or some feedback or some thoughts, which, because this seminar is not about just talking. Information download, I don't want to do it. I would like to hear if you have something to say, if you have something relevant which is pressing, some question about it, about the dealing with your mind and other aspects of the mind. So maybe if you have that kind of desire to ask, you can raise your hand. There is in this app or application, there is a facility down raise hand. And if you raise your hand, we will unmute you, and you can put on your video if possible, and then you can ask your question or you can say something. Yes, I'll wait for 10-20 seconds. If somebody comes up, I will answer. Otherwise, I'll continue with my presentation.
Yeah, Farjana, you are having some question?
We can wait.
Farjana?
Yeah, they can raise the hand.
Yeah, Farjana, can you hear me?
Yes,
Farjana,
sir.
you had some
Yes, sir.
question, I
Yes,
think.
sir.
Yep, ask.
No, sir. Actually, the slides were not seen, so that's why I have raised my hand.
Okay,
The
slides were
slides
not.
were not visible. Yeah, that time.
Hello, I can't hear you. I couldn't hear you properly. Can you repeat again?
Actually, the slides were not visible. That's
Slides
why
were
I have
not
raised
visible.
my hand.
Slides
Yeah,
were
yeah.
not visible. Really? Really?
No,
Why?
now it's visible,
Hmm.
but
Okay, no problem. No
previously it
problem.
was not visible.
Okay, at least you're seeing
Thank
now.
you.
I'm happy to do that. Any other person want to ask anything or say? No one. Okay.
No, actually, the biggest problem with the people is that for any of the mind, in my opinion, is that the controlling thoughts. That is the biggest problem. Controlling of thoughts.
Controlling of
I,
the thoughts.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's the
As
biggest
you are
challenge.
mentioning that, let's observe our thoughts, in which direction our thoughts are going. People know that bad thoughts are there, so those bad thoughts will lead towards, you know, it's not going to help in any way in
But there
developing
is a
personality, in the
there is a way
for peace.
way
But how to direct thoughts? That is biggest problem.
this can be done, sir. This is quite possible. I also mentioned also, maybe I can elaborate more. The first step is to catch. Although you mentioned that people are aware that the thoughts are there, but you have to really pinpoint those thoughts. Pinpoint means that that happens when you start writing. Because to catch the mind in the air is very difficult. It's really difficult because mind keep jumping so fast. So we have to start first writing what kind of negative thoughts I have. And then, like say I told you, three cancers of mind. If mind is going in the direction of criticism, then we can switch the mind. It requires some practice. It doesn't happen on a day. Maybe you have to sit some time and really practice it. That try to find some good thing in particular person, some good quality, and start talking about it, start meditating about it, start writing about it. It's a hard work. So, and same way, what we do in the meditation, in meditation, we try to still down the thoughts. We don't pay attention to the thoughts. So, all these things will not happen just by saying that it is not happening. Like bodybuilding, if we want to make our body strong, our muscles strong, then everyday person has to go to the gym and do some muscle work. Similarly, there are mental exercises, sir. Mental exercises are doing meditation, writing down stuff, writing some positive qualities of others, reading some wonderful stuff. This is all techniques. If somebody has been doing it for years together and that person says it's not happening, then I can talk to that person. How is not happening? But how is like this? How are these practical techniques? How much time we are giving to our mind to take care of our mind? Yes, sir. Can you answer me?
Yeah, it's true. I agree with your answer, but it happens with the people, and maybe it's because of lack of awareness. They are not, they don't know, and
You are totally
yeah,
right, sir. First
yeah,
step is lack of awareness. That's why I told you the purpose of this seminar is first step is awareness, and second, then some kind of practices we need to do. And it doesn't happen with few people; it is happening to majority of the people in today's time because so much of information download that people are just bewildered what to do.
yeah. This is there, and even suppose some of the younger guys, mainly
Mhm.
younger people, now they are influenced with this digital information. Lot of
Yes.
digital information is coming, and they are accessing it. So that is actually driving. That has become a driving force now, and they are not listening what is good for the mind, because in our society, our culture, we have things which are actually influencing mind. Suppose people go to the temple, if they listen some bhajan, kirtan, then the mind becomes cool and you can say smooth. But now people are avoiding those things. They are not going to the older people, because from the older people they can get the
Wisdom.
words of experience and
Yes.
maybe wisdom from the experience. So those are things now lacking in the society, and the younger minds are not, means not getting those things, and it is becoming now problem. So that's the thing.
Such a wonderful point, sir. I'm totally agree with you. Actually, the older people have so much experience and wisdom. They say like, if you go to them, they have answers for everything. And second thing you mentioned about going to the spiritual places. So this lack of spiritual energy is there. So that's what I am saying, that unless we put ourselves with people who have a spiritual experience, and unless we put ourselves into spiritual practices, uh, shift will not happen, because we need the different kind of energy. But the problem is, as you also mentioned, lack of awareness, that how mind is making fool out of them. People don't even know these very basic small things which I'm talking right now here. I'm not talking some rocket science, but even this much to know that how mind is making, they're falling in the trap of the mind of complaining and criticizing and complaining. It's just such a simple thing, but it's happening all over the day. Anyway, some more things I want to share, which will be more useful. So emotions are based on thoughts. Okay, and we have to really understand how there is a connection between emotions and thoughts. If you have happy thoughts, you will feel happy. If you have angry thoughts, you feel angry. If you have fearful thoughts, you feel afraid. Best of all, if you change your thoughts, you can change your feelings. But how? That's what Sir is saying. How to change the thoughts? You can change the thoughts only by feeding the right kind of thoughts, by monitoring. But first, you have to monitor and adjust your thinking. And you can stubbornly refuse to be miserable about anything, because then you start using your free will and you can choose to be happy. So, the first step, you know, learn to be authentic first. How many young generation or old generation or middle generation, let's not talk about too much about it. It's happening more with the young generation. I totally agree, because they have less access to all the spiritual strength. We have to start to be vulnerable. Sometime person become big in the society, uh, and then so big position, being like say manager of the company or big boss of the house, big leadership personality, and they have not much opportunity to express their emotions. Say to yourself, I am nervous. If you're feeling nervous, if you're nervous, don't deny your own feelings. If you can talk about your feelings, it is much better. Authenticity is the key. So, how many of us are really authentic to our emotions? Many of us don't even know how to connect with our emotions and feelings. And when we don't connect with our emotions and feelings, somewhere down the line, they actually start bothering us and doesn't allow us to perform with our full capacity. So, if you have that power, you can transform yourself. Being authentic also means being honest, being gentle to yourself, not beating yourself too much, being kind to yourself, giving yourself a chance. We all do mistakes, sir, my dear friends. We all do some kind of wrong things in life. But then instead of feeling guilty, we can have repentance. There is a difference between feeling guilty and repentance. In guilty, your self esteem goes down, and in repentance, your self esteem doesn't go down. There is a action to do something much better in life, action to put more energy, action to work in a more smart way. So this is the another thing of, after mind, when you thoughts, that how you have to be authentic to your emotions, and then shifting from negative to positive emotions. This is a very important technique or skill which we need to develop. Sir is asking about how to do it. First of all, you have to understand which are the negative emotions. How many of us can really name some negative emotions? At the most, we can say I'm sad or angry. But there are many negative emotions which we need to connect with. And these negative emotions, they scream out at you. They stick to you. Like after giving a talk, somebody said something to about us. Say your talk was not good, or you were talking something which were not relevant, and it will just keep bothering us if we are not careful how to take care of our negative emotions. We may feel disappointed, but we don't have to feel so sad that we stop preparing for the next presentation or we stop giving presentation. So this kind of negative thoughts, they scream at us, and they stick to us. So that is the time we have to shift. That practice is required. And there are healthy negative emotions and there are unhealthy negative emotions. What are the healthy and unhealthy? Develop the awareness of negative emotions. Are they healthy or unhealthy? What are the healthy negative emotions? Now, how can the negative emotions be healthy? Hmm. Very much. Healthy negative emotions are an appropriate response to negative events. They let you know that something is wrong and they encourage you to make positive changes in your life. Like, say, if I have to travel from uh, here to Delhi, from Rishikesh to Delhi, and there is a fear that I don't know what kind of traffic will be there and what kind of problems may come on the way. So it is a healthy negative emotion that I'm concerned, I'm alert to find out all the details before I start traveling. Unhealthy negative emotion will be that I get so panic that I stop the work. This is called unhealthy negative emotion. Unhealthy negative emotions have no beneficial side effects. Do you feel much worse than the situation really calls for? And if you're feeling much worse, then it is an unhealthy negative emotion. It is pulling you down. Do you feel depressed instead of sad, afraid instead of careful, enraged instead of annoyed, hurt instead of disappointed, ashamed instead of regretful? Do your feeling push you to do things that are unhealthy that get you into trouble? Many times, unhealthy negative emotions pull us in a direction we start doing some activities which are harmful to our body and mind. Some people just start overeating a lot. It's a sign of depression. So, do you procrastinate on important tasks? Some people बोलते हैं कि मेरा मन ही नहीं लगता है, I don't feel like doing anything. They procrastinating things. They just avoiding important tasks in their life. It means unhealthy negative emotions are becoming very powerful, overpowering them, and just it's a disease. It's like a person has to take some help. Person has to, if not able to do on his own, person has to take some guidance. Like in Indian culture, especially, I have seen if person is sick physically, then person feel okay to go to doctor. But if person is having some emotional and mind related issues, that is considered to be not very good. That is considered to be a stigma. No, if you are going through some unhealthy negative emotion, this is the awareness I'm talking about. That how much we have to be vulnerable and authentic to ourselves and start accepting that I am really in a trouble situation. Get into unnecessary arguments with authority figure. There are some people that keep fighting with their bosses and everybody. There is something which is bothering them. And what is that something? I'm going to come to that after a few minutes. But first try to understand that do your feelings stop you from doing the things you want to do? And if this is happening, no matter what kind of degree you get, no matter how much education you have, in life, in practical life, you will not be able to grow from overall point of view. So if you have unhealthy negative emotions, then please be alert. Start taking help. Very often, healthy negative emotions are accompanied by self-evaluating actions. So these are the negative emotions. Let's go to positive emotions. What are the positive emotions? Positive emotions, people sometimes again say happiness, joy, the most. I'm happy. I'm happy. No, this is not just positive emotion. Positive emotions, first of all, they whisper, they don't scream because we have not entertained them so much to shout at us. Because the moment any positive emotion come into our life, we don't pay so much attention. We again go back by default to the negative emotion. So we need to first become aware of them. That, oh, I'm feeling grateful. I'm feeling kind. I'm feeling encouraged. I'm feeling hopeful. Positive emotions are not just about being happy. We need to become more specific about them. If anybody has done something to us, we should become grateful. If If something wonderful has happened in life, we should share our joy, we should talk about it, we should jump sometime little bit for a few minutes. Hope. Hope is such a powerful positive emotion. Pride. What is pride? Pride is not some kind of ego here. Pride is taking pride in your strengths, taking pride in your parents, taking pride in your culture, taking pride in your country, taking pride about your institution. Inspiration. So these are the positive emotion. Love. These are the positive emotions. We have to start again entertaining them. How? Try. Start. Right now, take a moment. Let's say we can practice right now only. If you say that how to do it, because anything how require practice. How, whenever how will come, it require practice. So maybe we can take a say 30 seconds, close your eyes, and think of an incident where somebody has done something very wonderful to you in your life. And now that person is sitting in front of you, imagine, and you are expressing your gratitude. Say a few words, frame few words. How many times we have taken the opportunity to we celebrate birthdays, we celebrate marriage anniversaries, but we take so many gifts to the people. But what is the best gift? Best gift will be, according to me, along with the physical gift. I'm not saying don't give the physical gift. Along with the physical gift, some words of appreciation, some things which that person has done to you, some things which you really admire about that personality, and writing those things down, speaking out to them, and you see how the shift from negative emotion to positive emotions will happen. Just do this exercise wherever you are, in your institution, in your family. Maybe have a once in a week one meeting where you just decide that each one will try to find something good and appreciate about each other, not just in artificial way कि अभी करना पड़ेगा, we have to do it, what to do, the boss has told to come, not like that, it will not work. Or maybe you decide a evening to spend with your friend and think about some wonderful qualities about him. So these are the positive emotions. Maybe you can close your eyes now again and think of an incident where you were very kind to somebody or somebody was very kind to you. Our emotions are connected to our emotional needs, my dear friends. And we all have our needs. Needs and desire are totally different. Let me clarify. There are some basic needs. I'm not talking about them here, like food, clothing, and shelter. Because this seminar, I'm assuming the people who are attending this seminar, they have their basic needs intact. They have a good food to eat, they have a nice place to stay. I'm saying good food and nice placement. I don't mean to be like some palace or something. A place to stay and have a good sleep, a food to nourish your body, and some clothing to cover your body. This seminar is about much more than that. It's about like talking about emotions and mental strength. So here we are talking about emotional needs. We are not talking about I want a MacBook or I want this, I want that. There's like last seminar when I was saying one professor was continuously talking the same point. Oh no, our desires are unlimited. If we entertain them, they will increase like anything. Definitely will increase like anything. Desires are to be tamed again based on what your goals are, what your priorities are. But there are some basic emotional needs, my dear friends. If they will not be met, if the emotional needs are not met, no matter what you will try, you will have negative emotions. And the moment you have negative emotions, you will not have peace and happiness in life. So this is a very important concept which I'm discussing here. It is based on uh, a very important research connection between needs and feelings. And once we start connecting with our feelings and needs, we start having a totally outlook in our life. First, learn to connect with your needs. These are the list of some important emotional needs. And I'm going to show you around 20 to 25 emotional needs, but it's not that you have to have all those emotional needs. Some of us have, like, out of these 25, maybe 4 or 5 very prominent. Some of us may have 6 or 7 very prominent. Others may also be there, but they may not be so prominent. But some needs are very prominent. And it is again our responsibility to take care of those needs. Hmm. First is accomplishment here in the list. Like some people have this strong emotional need of accomplishment, means they want to accomplish different kind of things in life, one after another. And there is list is quite long to accomplish one after another, one after another, one after another. And once they accomplish something, like say they get a new certification they have done a certified course, or they some people have the feeling of accomplishing like making another house. Some people have the accomplishment of having like say 5,000 friends on Facebook, whatever different. I'm not talking into the details, but they feel very happy if they accomplish anything. Now you may say everybody feel happy when they accomplish something. No, but there are some people, for them everything is very much depends on how much they are accomplishing. If they're not accomplishing, then they don't feel so happy. Affection. Now again, everybody needs affection, everybody need appreciation, but some people need is much more than other people need in regard to affection and appreciation. If you try to be very affectionate to such people, they will be so motivated and they will feel so happy. All the positive emotions will come in their life. I will talk about the positive emotions also more later. So if you are one of them, then you have to again take the responsibility of your life and try to connect with people, try to have some friends or life partner or whatever who understand your needs of affection and appreciation. Try to look for it, try to fulfill it. Autonomy. This is a very relevant point need, you know. Some people cannot function in a big team. Some people cannot function under too much pressure. Some people cannot work in a big hierarchy kind of situation. They want autonomy. They want to sit on their own. They want to be do things, control in their own way, manage things in their own way. And if they're stuck in a situation in a big organization where they don't have much autonomy, how will they be happy? Then again, they have to make the some changes. Yes, sir. Anybody? And then we have another need of choices, input into decisions, beautiful things to look at. When I'm showing this list, please try to connect with yourself, which one comes out, you know, in a very powerful way from the screen at you. Choices means some people want many choices in life, and out of that they want to choose. Some people want to have their input into decision, otherwise they feel left out. And but some people they don't have that much. They say, okay, I'm happy in my world. If you want to decide, you decide, but don't involve me too much into it. Then we have some people have the need of connection. What is this connection? Unless they feel connected at the workplace with some people, unless they feel connected, they are not inspired. They're not inspired to do things. So, are you that kind of person who cannot function unless you feel connected to your boss, unless you feel connected to your students, unless you feel connected to your colleagues? Then you have to really make endeavor to connect with some people, because any emotional need, if you want to fulfill, you have to make some endeavor. Then there is a creative expression. Some people have great need of creative expression. They're too creative, and unless they get the opportunity to have some kind of creativity, they feel, you know, incompleteness in their personality. Some people have the need of fun and play. Some people have the need of honesty, truthfulness, learning new skills. If you have the need of learning new skills, please take out some time on the weekend, on the evening in the of the day, and invest some money and energy into it. Love and belonging. Everybody has the need of love and belonging, but some people cannot function unless they feel belonged. Their emotional needs are too high up in regard to love and belonging. Some people want order, like house has to be completely in order, everything has its own place. Their table also in the office has to be completely in place. If anything goes here and there, they feel disturbed. So this you have to recognize. Then some people have need of peace, physical rest, exercise, respect, safety, security, space, support, trust, understanding. What is space? Space is physical space also and mental space also. What is space? Like some people need a corner to work, and some people work only when they're surrounded by other people. It's up to you. You have to find out which kind of emotional need you have. And if you have a need of space, you want a corner to work, you want a corner to think, then you need to express this emotional need to the people with whom you're working. You need to actually fight for it. You need to ask for it. You need to make arrangement for it. You have to plan your life in a way that you have a space at the workplace, you have a place at home, a space at home. Some people have great need of respect. Unless they feel respected, and they just feel sad again. So these are the few needs. I mean, and if these needs are not fulfilled, then negative emotions comes. Negative emotions arise whenever needs are not met. It's a very simple science. It's not something very big thing I'm talking about. But we have to start thinking in this direction, thinking in terms of needs, thinking in terms of feelings, because many of times we are not able to connect with our needs. I will again show you the slides. I will again read them out for you. And please see if you can note down 4 or 5 needs out of them. It will be really useful, something to take away from this seminar. Accomplishment, affection, appreciation, autonomy, choices, input into decisions, beautiful things to look at, connection, creative expression, fun and play harmony. Fun and play harmony. Some people are working at the job and they have very highly intellectual job, but still they look for fun and play. And if they don't get that fun and play, they will again have negative emotions coming up. And if you are one of them, plan your life in a way that you have some opportunity in the evening or in the workplace or at home or on the weekend. You try to fulfill this emotional need, and that will make you feel complete. Honesty, truthfulness, learn new skills, love and belonging, order, peace, physical, respect, safety, security, space, support offered and received, trust, understanding offered and received. Now, negative emotions arise when our needs are not met. And which are these negative emotions? Again, you have to connect with your emotional negative emotions. We may feel angry. This is a very powerful negative emotion. Annoyed, anxious, bored, confused, doubtful, disappointed, embarrassed, spirited, fidgety, frustrated, guilty, helpless, hurt, impatient.
Excuse me, your slides are not moving. I mean,
Really? Why?
yeah, only your name is appearing. Nothing. Yeah, now I can see it. Now I can see it. Thank you.
And previously also it was not coming?
Yeah, it was not coming earlier also.
How long?
Yeah, quite for a long time.
Okay,
Quite
now
for a
you
long
see.
time.
Now you see. You should have told me before. Now we have to show you again. So, okay, these are the important needs. You can note down. Now you can see, sir.
Yeah, now it is seen.
Yeah. Please note down if you can see now. These needs are important to note down because that will help you to find out some of your emotional needs and then you can work in that direction.
You have beautiful content, so maybe I could request that you could share it among us.
Okay, sure. We'll share it.
Noting it down, it's such a short time will be difficult
Okay, okay, no
because
problem.
when we are hearing, then side by side noting, isn't it?
No problem, no problem. I'll share. But I want to, yeah, this was the last slide which I was showing. That some more negative emotions here: mad, nervous, overwhelmed, puzzled, sad, scared, tired, unhappy, upset, worried. Why I'm showing you these negative emotions? Many of us don't know that which feelings we are going through. This language of feelings is very new to many of us. Like if I say how you're feeling, people say I'm not feeling good. I'm feeling sad at the most they say. Or they'll say I'm upset or unhappy. But what about puzzled? What about guilty? What about helpless? What about impatient? Because all these feelings, if you know, then you can easily connect to some of your needs. And when you connect with some of your needs, then you can actually work and fulfilling those needs. So this is a very practical way to deal with your thought process. And same way opposite happens about the emotions. Like say when your needs are fulfilled, then you have positive emotions. Positive emotions are amazed, astonished, calm, confident, contented, curious, eager, excited, hmm, grateful, happy, hopeful, inspired. So these are some positive emotions which are written here. I'll share this with you later on. But right now you have to understand that when you feel relaxed, how you feel. And when do you feel relaxed? Like somebody has an emotional need of space. That person want a corner to work in. Then person will feel relaxed. If person has a need of accomplishment and person accomplish, then person will feel powerful emotionally. If person has a need for safety, then person will have the emotion of being safe. Hmm. So now what you have to do, you have to go opposite. First you have to see which emotions you are going through, which feelings you are going through. If say in your life you're feeling upset many times, if you're feeling tired many times, if you're feeling guilty many times, so then you have to connect it back to the need.
But
So
actually, I have one point in the previous slide,
yes
in
sir,
in the negative one, negative one.
yes, I'll show you.
Yeah, when you are talking about tired or puzzled or overwhelmed, uh, they are practically because of certain situations, right? They happen practically because of certain situations which you come across, right?
Mhm.
But
Yes.
maybe for a while one can become vulnerable to all these kind of emotions, but that should not last for a longer time. That is what. But because avoiding emotions itself is a kind of negative kind of emotion.
What is
According
the
to me,
last line? What is the last line? Avoiding.
avoiding avoiding the emotions that come to us naturally is also a kind of negative emotion.
So I think I have not presented in a right way. I'm not saying avoiding emotions. I'm saying connecting with emotions here. We need to connect with our emotion. The problem comes only because we avoid emotions. When you connect with emotions, then only you find out from where that emotion is coming, and then only we can address it. Whether it is from
But
situation.
my question is, the emotions are naturally coming to us because of a rational situation. So maybe
Can you
we
give
have
me?
to,
Can you give me an example, sir?
yeah, somebody is expecting a promotion because of his achievements, accomplishment,
Okay.
right? But he is
Yes.
not getting it because of certain situation. So
Yes.
feeling frustrated or disappointed, can it be considered negative emotion?
So what should you? What will you do, sir, in this situation?
That I do not know. I'm asking you because I'm
I
not
think
the.
I think you know. That's what I thought you know already.
Maybe
Because
I consider that maybe that is something natural that it is coming to him, and
ah
embrace it and digest it.
so you know already actually the answer, that there are certain situations which we cannot change because external environment we cannot change, but we can change the internal environment. You use the word called acceptance. There is a very powerful word you use, sir, because acceptance sometimes
Acceptance, yeah, acceptance.
acceptance
But
acceptance is very yeah, please
but in
carry.
Mahabharata and Gita, it has been told. I mean, Lord Krishna has told Arjuna that fight against injustice, something which is not rational. You fight against it and try to conquer that.
So you have two choices now, sir, whether you fight
Yeah,
or accept.
fight or accept.
Okay.
So what should I
Okay.
do?
It depends on your capacity, sir.
So
Yeah.
most of the times we have to accept, is it not?
No, it's not like that. It also depends your capacity. It also depends in which situation you are. If you're working in a institution, you're actually already accepted a slavery.
Yes, salary is one thing.
Not
Salary is one.
salary, not salary, slavery.
Oh yeah, yeah, okay, okay, yeah.
The moment you join a big organization, you don't have much to say. The bosses will decide for you. And if you want to have your own freedom, then you start your own coaching institute, na, sir.
So
Then
it
you
is
will
a
have,
kind of preconditioned acceptance.
yeah, precondition accept, very wisely said. Because see, when Arjun is fighting on the battlefield, he's not slave. He's a fighter. He's not even like an army man working for a country. He had decided. He has his own powers. So
But
what
the
I'm saying,
question, but the question is that such people are called activist or Taliban, is it not?
no,
By the
it's not
system.
like you are going to another extreme, sir. Now, I'm talking about very simple situation. You are a professor, sir. If I'm
Yeah,
not, so you
yeah.
are a professor, and if you feel frustrated that injustice has been done to you, can you fight with the system? That is the first option. I'm not
Yeah,
talking about. I'm not
one
talking
has
about
to
like.
represent his case, one has to represent his case, and maybe after representation, even if he is not convinced, he has to accept certain things.
Yes, that is the point. You already know the answer, sir. We have to try our best, and then, in spite of trying everything, if things are not happening, then we have to happily accept and again try after some time.
So that
That's
is
the only thing.
so
Yeah,
that is what I mean we should follow. You that is
that
what.
is what is best way. Other ways, let's say if you don't do this, what will happen? You will crib, you
Yeah,
will blame, you will
yeah,
curse. You will
yeah.
you will find faults in others. You will give gali, abusive words. May not verbally, but mentally, and you will say injustice is done. So instead of that, be happy what has been given to us in spite of working hard. Or third option, which I told you, resign from the job and start something on your own where nobody can do injustice to you.
Yeah.
There is a
Easy
third
to
option.
say, difficult to execute.
Difficult when you want freedom, freedom comes with difficulty, sir. Slavery comes easily. I'm not saying you do that. I'm saying this is the option. I'm not saying you do that. I'm saying these are the options. We are talking about options here. And you very wisely said, try everything your best. And in spite of everything, if things don't work,
Maybe,
Even
maybe
Pandavas, listen, let me
some
complete this. You mentioned the
some
Mahabharata.
other people can give their own opinion also. Dr. Milli, Dr. Rathod. Dr.
Sure.
Rathod is not here, I think. Are you
No, no,
there?
I am here, sir.
Please say
Yeah,
what Mr. Rathod, what
I'm
you will
here.
do in this situation.
Yeah, that's the only way. You you can
Or maybe Dr.
you
Swagata, what do you want to say?
try you can try and try to convince. If it does not come, you whatever is there, you be happy with that. That's the way on.
Also, there is one more thing I can add, if others are not speaking. Maybe sometime we don't know that way of presenting, we can learn some communication skills properly. And I'm not saying about all of you. Sometimes it happens, some people are qualified, but they are unable to present in a right way in right situation. So that also can be considered. Even Pandavas, I want to mention this point. At one particular point, since you mentioned Mahabharata, they just accepted when they were defeated in the gambling match because the time was against them. But then the time came, they come out with all power. So life
So
runs
wait
like
for the
this.
right time. Wait for
Wait
the
for
right.
the right time is very important thing in life. Please remember that. That works in every field of life. Whether even in business, if you start your own thing also, sir, maybe after a few years, that time also time is most important thing. At what time you enter into the market, at what place you enter into the market. Timing is one of the very important things.
So
Yeah.
finally, it is management, kind
Yes.
of.
It's a management. Life is a management. Life is a management of emotions, desires, situations, and then just, moving yourself in the direction. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very so acceptance is
Okay.
one of the
Okay.
most powerful.
Please
Yeah, but
continue.
yeah, I'm
Please
continuing.
continue.
It's a continuation only. I wanted this kind of discussion. Yeah.
Yeah, time
So
is very important in business. I just interrupting you here.
yes, please,
And
please carry on, sir.
suppose few years back, these YouTubers have
Ah,
come.
such
Huh.
an example.
After some time, what I'm thinking right now, after some time, if someone comes in this line, someone enters, he may not get that what people, those who enter earlier are getting, because people will and some saturation kind of thing will come. So time is very important. Just example I'm telling you.
Very relevant example, sir. The YouTuber who entered 5, 6 years back or 8 years back, that kind of success to get now is not that easy. It happens. Timing is very important.
Yeah, that is what.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
let's,
please continue.
yeah, continuing. I was on the needs and emotions. Yeah, emotions. So you were talking about some positive emotions. So you need to connect with.
Excuse me, just a moment. Can you write your email address here in the chat box?
Yeah, I can write. Where is the chat box? Not able to see the chat box here. Ah, here. It's not working. It's not functionable. I will show you my slide later on. It will be there in my email.
Okay.
Okay, in the end. No
Thank you.
problem.
Thank you.
So 1 minute. I just lost my thoughts. So here I was talking about positive emotions. So we need to connect with our positive emotions. Exuberant, grateful, happy, hopeful, inspired, interested. And when you connect with these positive emotions, we can actually, what you say, start connecting with our positive needs, emotional needs. Now, after this, I want to share some more things about more practical issues, which Sir also mentioned in the beginning, that how things are even more appreciated, how to do things. So in that regard, I want to share some things, some practical way of very simple way of relaxing kind of exercises, because this was like a theoretical way. You can intellectual way, you can shift your emotions, connect your needs, write down. And some relaxing exercises I want to share for next 5 to 10 minutes, which are very simple. Many of you may be knowing also. The funda in yoga and meditation is very much dependent on our breath, my friends. Our breath has become so shallow that we are not able to breathe properly. Complete breath we are missing. And breath is connected to prana, and prana is connected to mind. And mind is a storehouse, or you can say the seat of all the emotions. So when we have to do emotional release work, one of the technique I shared is you can do a lot of writing if anybody having emotional issues stuck up. Like say, Sir mentioned about mm, frustration which comes after not getting the promotion which was expected. Okay, that was the thing. So if this frustration is bothering you, then the emotional need is here, that you wanted the need of accepted, or what were the needs. Let me see, we can find out which need of yours was not fulfilled in that. I'll show you the slide. Maybe we can do the practical exercise with you only. Sir, what was your name, sir, who was asking the question with me sometime back? Yeah. Accomplishment. This was your need, sir. Your need of accomplishment was not met, and it led to frustration. So now one of the thing is that you can try to accept and everything, but how to really release this emotion of frustration, that is also possible. That is possible by breathing exercises. That is also possible by writing. How it is possible by writing? You have to take things out from your system. So my request is, this is one of very powerful way of healing, that you please write down everything what is coming to your mind, what has been done to you, what people have done to you, and you're not able to do anything to them. Just keep writing, just don't think about grammar, just don't talk about the words, and then burn that paper. You will say, "Se kya hoga?" What will happen with that? It will be very useful. I'm telling you. Please try this. Write it for a few days. Every day, write down all these things, and it will come out of your system. And you will feel empowered to contribute more and more in the same situation. Second thing, what you can do, we have to do the emotional release by breath work. So breath work happens only when we start breathing properly. The breathing pattern has been disturbed. How it is disturbed? Have you seen the small babies when they're born? Just try to remember when the small babies are just newly born, and how they breathe, their breathing pattern. When they inhale, their belly comes out, and when they exhale, the belly goes in. Now we are not inhaling from belly, we are inhaling from and exhaling from our lungs. But there is an important thing to note here. Then when you fill your lungs with completely with full air, then lungs expands and they pushes the diaphragm down to the belly to come out. And when you exhale, again the diaphragm start coming up and belly goes in. So having said so, you can practice this kind of breathing exercise, because this kind of exercise, it is very simple and it is very basic on the path of yoga. Many people don't even know how to breathe, and they feel so much tensed up and anxious and angry at any situation. If you can Just take off for 3 to 4 minutes. We can do it now. Please close your eyes wherever you are. Keep one hand on your chest, one hand on your belly. Close your eyes, relax your shoulders, keep your back straight, and inhale. Inhale deeply so that your diaphragm pushes your belly out. And then exhale very slowly and completely. Very slowly and completely. Please do that for 5 to 6 times at least. Inhale deeply and then exhale completely and slowly. Please inhale deeply and exhale very slowly and completely. Now you can add one more thing into it. When you're exhaling, imagine you're exhaling out any kind of negative emotion or thought you're carrying with you. Inhale deeply so that your diaphragm pushes your belly out. And while exhaling, exhale all kind of negative thoughts and feelings, frustration, anger, all these negative, um, feelings which we discuss in the class. If you're feeling angry or anxious or doubtful, disappointed, irritated, helpless, just release them. Imagine I'm just releasing them out of my system. Inhale and exhale. But inhale now, add one more thing to it. Inhale at the count of 4 and exhale at the count of 6 or 7. Means your exhalation is 1.5 times or 2 times of your inhalation time. It will give you such a relaxing feeling. And at the same time, you're exhaling out all your negativity. Inhale at the count of 4. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Inhale 2, 3, 4. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Inhale again. And this time when inhaling, inhale imagining that the fresh air, the prana is energizing every cell of your body and you're becoming more and more energized. So inhale with the thought of energizing every cell of your body and exhale completely removing all kind of toxins of your body. Now bring your awareness to your forehead and relax your forehead while exhaling. Now bring your awareness to your eyes and relax your eyes while exhaling. Now bring your awareness to your cheeks and relax your cheeks while exhaling. Now bring your awareness to your lips and relax your lips while exhaling. Now awareness to your jaw, because jaw has many emotions stored. So exhale and relax your jaw. Tongue. Relax your tongue while exhaling. Relax your neck. Relax your neck while exhaling. Relax your shoulders while exhaling. Now make your breath very simple and natural and take your awareness to the inner walls of your nostrils and make your breath more deeper and subtler. More deeper and subtler. Take your awareness to the inner walls of your nostrils. And as you take your awareness to the inner walls of your nostrils, your breath will become deeper and subtler. And now you inhale and again energize every cell of your body and exhale completely. And while exhaling, you have to remove all the emotions which are bothering you, anxieties, worries, disappointments. Now bring your palms together, rub them nicely, create some heat out of them, and make cup out of your palms. Cover your eyes with those palms and open your eyes inside the palms. So this kind of very simple relaxing meditation, you can say, or relaxing emotional release exercise, you can say, can help all of us any part of the day. I mean, even if you're sitting in the office and you want to take a 5-minute break and it will energize you, it will help you to, even you can do it with somebody who is in panic situation, who is in anxiety, who is too much worry. Students can do it before starting their exam paper. And this is very powerful and simple way. And this way we can learn to breathe also properly. And just imagine throughout the day we are breathing in this pattern, then lot of emotional release will happen even during the day. And many people have the emotional issues because they do shallow breathing and things are stuck in their neck or their belly or the lower back. So this is my humble request that along with whatever knowledge I was sharing, which I've gathered from some people and my experience and some books, you please try to do this very practical 5 minute, 10 minutes kind of breathing exercise for emotional release, and I'm sure you will have some benefit. So if anybody has anything to say, please come forward or ask some question or share. I'll be very happy if I understand that some of my thoughts are being accepted in a positive way and you have something to challenge. I'm happy to discuss about it.
Yes, Ravi Ranjan, ask your doubt.
Thank you, sir, for your interesting presentation. Uh, Sir, my question is that the optimum potential at which one performs any sort of physical work, that totally depends on the mental strength at that particular moment. Means, I just want to ask that how one should make balance among many more things happening simultaneously. Means because one should be in a good mental condition to perform a work in a better efficient way.
Yeah, so your question is that how to bring mental strength more, how to increase the mental strength. That's what you're saying?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so mental strength is increased like we increase bodily strength. As I mentioned, you have to do two things, my friend. One is like you have to release the toxins from the mind, for which there is emotion release exercises, which I mentioned few of them. And second thing, you have to increase the mental strength by focusing the mind on the right object. Let's say some mantras are there, very high spiritual energy mantras are there. You can chant them, or you can meditate. What is meditation? Meditation is absorbing your mind into certain thoughts, absorbing your mind into certain object. Basically, absorption is called meditation. So if you want to increase your mental strength from practical point of view, every day you have to give some time for this, like say 10 minutes, 15 minutes, half an hour, and try to focus your mind on particular object. That object can be a mantra, that object can be a what you say chakra, we have chakra energy centers in our body. That object can be your breath. So once you start giving time for mind to direct in particular direction, then mind gets habituated for that. And there are some values which you need to develop, like tolerance. What is tolerance? Tolerance is, in any situation you have more capacity to respond in a way which is different than how other people respond, and that again come by practice. And how the practice is done? By revising your thoughts. You have to read spiritual literature, you have to read emotional literature, that what kind of right response is needed in this situation, what kind of responses. Or as in the beginning of the presentation, our sir Rathore sir has shared that you have to take guidance from the wise people, that in this situation how to balance, how to manage. And balancing comes only when you write down things. This is another thing which I will tell you. Unless you write down what all I am supposed to do, there is a saying in English, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So, I mean, you have to work intellectually and mentally together. So, only mind, it's not possible. Only intelligence is not possible, because we need motivation, and that comes from the mind. And mind needs some kind of clarity which comes from intelligence. And intelligence is developed by right kind of readings, right kind of discussions, right kind of hearing the talks. And mind is detoxified or tamed by meditation practices. This is what I can say. Does it answer your
Okay.
question?
Thank you, sir.
If you have
So one
anything
more
else,
thing
yeah, yeah,
I would like to share
yeah.
means in your language what you are calling it emotions or thoughts.
Mm,
In case of biological perspective, we call it chemical messengers or hormones.
okay.
Means which further regulates the state of mind. From means so nutrition is also one of the aspect which we can say that it's also responsible for the particular time being means state of the mind.
Nutrition is definitely very important. I totally agree with you. This is modern science approach. There are two approach. One is like working at the another end, like allopathic medicine. They work on the end part, but the yogic process work in the beginning part actually. So if you can control the thought, then nutrition. I'm totally agreeing. I'm not denying that. But if you try to take some pills for emotional strength, that is not a very good idea, because you can say you can control the hormones and emotions by taking some pills, but then you have to keep on taking them. But if you start working on your emotion and from where emotions are originating, then it's like a working at the root cause of the problem. So I'm not denying nutrition, but I'm not agreeing with the that psychiatric kind of approach. For everything you have some pills, you have everything some kind of thing. So go to the root cause of the problem. Root cause of the problem is that our thought process is not in the right place, and thought process has to be fixed. And whatever toxins we have taken into the mind over the years, they have to be removed. This is my approach actually in life. Anybody else would like to ask anything or say? Otherwise, I think we have completed our
I think
time.
Vivek is telling something different. He is saying that whatever you eat,
Hmm.
that food habit also influence. I mean, summarizingly, you can say food habit also influence the thoughts. Is that
Food. We can ask Ravi
is
only,
it
na?
all?
We can ask Ravi what he's asking. Yeah, I totally agree. Food habits matters a lot. Yes, Ravi.
I don't know it affects or
So
not.
mine, mine aspect of nutrition was that which Rathod sir is discussing. You took it another way, means like medications in medication aspect. Mine opinion was only that the healthy or balanced food or good food habits also depends on it, means the emotional thoughts. These are the consequences of the.
Yes, yes, I totally agree with you. Body and mind are interconnected. But just by taking the right food, it will help. It is an additional aid to it. But when the person has mental issues, emotional issues, person has to have good food, healthy food. If he's taking more of the junk food, it will create constipation. It will create more emotional issues. But only this is an extra addition to it. I'm assuming that good food means what? Good healthy food means then you have to really take care of your carbs, you have to take care of your protein, you have to take care of your fat, you have to take care of all the four things, fibers. And these four things definitely will aid to more emotional and mental strength. I am so happy that you shared that point. But what I understood, maybe I understood wrongly, that people take because you mentioned the scientific point of view, hormones, and I just thought ki people want to fix the hormones through pills, so that is not the right way. But food definitely helps. Food habits also include, let's, if we're talking about food habits, because I am a mindfulness coach, mindful eating. What is mindful eating? Mindful eating means that every morsel which you are eating, you are grateful to it. Every morsel you are taking inside your body, you are imagining, you are thinking that it is nourishing every cell of my body. The food which is cooked with lot of love and affection, that can make you emotionally strong. The food which is very clean and hygiene, emotionally also. There is a food which is emotionally very hygiene, like the food cooked by somebody who loves you. These are very subtle things, modern science may not believe in it, but I have a lot of belief in it. Whenever you eat the food which is cooked by somebody who has so much affection and love poured into it, it will also make you emotionally healthy. And emotional food habits also include not eating too much in the night. And food habits also include right kind of balance of protein and carbs and fat and fibers. Fibers are very important. So thank you for bringing this point. I'm totally agreeing with that agreement.
Thank you, sir. Thank you
Yeah,
so
you're
much.
welcome.
Is there any
Any
question, or otherwise can we conclude the session, or Vivek want to say some
I just
some,
want to
some
conclude.
points?
I will conclude in 1 minute, but before that, I was just waiting if somebody has any question, but nobody has, so no problem.
Sir,
Somebody was
I have a
asking.
question. Sir,
Yeah,
I'm Bipin.
Yeah, please.
So, sir, I think most of us are having some kind of emotion in days to
Mm,
days life, and we are
mm,
busy with so many things.
mm.
So, what will be the right way to live a happy day? What to bring a best in a day? Means
What
at
will
the
be
end
the
of the day, we are happy with our daily schedule.
at the end of the day, we are happy if we have some people around us. This is my way of looking at it. And this is very personal opinion I'm sharing to begin with. If I have
Yes.
some people at the end of the day with whom I can share my life,
Mm.
with whom I can share what I have, because
Mm.
that is the you may have a lot of money, you may have a lot of success and degrees, but if you have some people with whom you can share your joy and sorrow, I mean, that is the best thing you can have. That's what I want to say. And
Mm.
more than that, if you have some spiritual upliftment of consciousness of going out and sharing your life with more people, that even more
Mm.
wonderful, because that gives joy, that gives real fulfillment when you do something for your near and dear ones, and when you do something for the whole world. That's my thought process. If you have something more specific, I can answer. But in a general way, this is what I have experienced. That if we have some people who are very close to us and we are sharing our life with them, we are taking care of them, and then all the positive emotions comes out automatically. Okay. Thank you so much. Here my email ID. If anybody wants, they can note down it on the slide. And there are some YouTube videos are there you can watch. Otherwise, I'm very grateful to get this opportunity to share some of these things which I have shared. And I'm sure all of you may be knowing much more than me, but because the opportunity was given to me, so I spoke. Thank you
Please
so
show
much.
your slide once again.
Sure. Okay, sir. I think we can conclude now. Dr. Sir? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Vivek, Mr. Vivek Mansal, for sharing all your knowledge with the participants. Maybe if some percentage of participants benefited from such lecture or such session, then I think the objective is achieved, and maybe even one person is benefited. If we go to the minimum uh, expectations, then I think even that objective is fulfilled, and this online platform is giving us a good opportunity to interact. Otherwise, in this pandemic, it's very difficult to make arrangement of such session offline. So anyway, thanks, Mr. Vivek Bansal, for spending your time and sharing your knowledge, your wisdom with our participants and ourselves.
Thank you
Thank you.
for giving me the opportunity.
Well,
See
again,
you
we'll
soon,
have.
sir, sometime. Bye.
So
Namaste.
you're going to share your presentation, and
Yeah, I will share. I will share
okay,
with you on email, and then you can send it to others. No
right.
problem. Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye. Namaste.
Thank you, Vivek, and
My pleasure.
thank you.
I am leaving now. Bye.
Okay. The participants, now we can have lunch break of till 2:30. We'll join 2:30 session that is on machine learning, right? So that session exactly is machine learning for satellite data processing, or maybe other image processing. So please join, maybe interesting. that session. Have now the break.